Iwarovash Slav Urez. We have seen reports in the media and statements about a potential withdrawal of US forces from Iraq. Now, let's be very clear. We have not seen a formal announcement from the White House or from Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. That means that we all must take time, be patient, and wait for a full announcement. But I want to provide some analysis of what we can expect. There's politics on the United States side and politics on the Iraq side. We have a large election coming up in the United States for the presidency. And we will note that prior to the end of President Trump's election term in 2020, he created conditions for the American withdrawal from Afghanistan. That withdrawal was implemented by President Biden. If we go back further in history, when President Obama had a troop withdrawal from Iraq, those conditions were established by the President Bush administration. So this is a continued thing in Washington, D.C. for presidents to want to say that they have removed troops from the Middle East and ended the wars. I anticipate that in 2025 and in 2026 and in 2027, there will continue to be American forces that are there in Iraq at the invitation of the government of Iraq, conducting similar missions. They will be providing high-level advice and assistance, and also providing military support with equipment and some training through our partners for Iraqi security forces and the Peshmerga. The United States and Iraq are transitioning to a bilateral relationship. The other nations in the coalition are also transitioning to a bilateral relationship. For your viewers at home, this means that each nation will have an independent arrangement with the government in Baghdad and Erbil for ongoing partnership and presence of forces to do training, advice, and assistance. The countries like Italy, Netherlands, UK, France, the United States, and Spain all have strong military relationships and have had positive impact. They've had positive influence on the Iraqi security forces and Peshmerga. Those type of relationships benefit the foreign nations as well as the military forces throughout Iraq. The individual nations will continue to have partnerships with Baghdad and Erbil, and there will be continued presence of these foreign forces inside of Iraq from north to south for specifically the purpose of training and advising. These troops will continue to be in small numbers. They are in small numbers now, and there will be ongoing cooperation between the international military forces and the forces in Iraq and Kurdistan region. I think it's in front of the curtain that the leaders in Baghdad and the leaders in Washington have talked about the ongoing partnership in a bilateral manner. I think this big international coalition with all the flags, that will end, but the presence and the partnership of international military forces will continue. There's a NATO mission in Baghdad, and that NATO mission is designed for high-level advising at the ministries. And we will continue to see bilateral presence and partnership of foreign forces in Kurdistan region. ISIS still remains a threat. We saw that there were American commandos and Iraqi counterterrorism forces that were in a battle against ISIS in Anbar 1 week ago. So the partnership has been good. It has been successful since 2014, and it will continue in a different way beyond 2025 and 2026. Party leaders, Vice President Harris and President Trump, are both inclined to signal that they want forces to be leaving Iraq. Leaving Iraq over time. You see, they will not say immediately because there is still the threat of Iran. So both parties want to have it both ways. They want to make people happy, but they also don't want to put themselves at risk of criticism if things go bad and there are attacks in the future. But ultimately, American foreign policy in the Middle East focuses more on Israel and Iran than our strong and healthy cooperative relations with Kurdistan region and forces in Syrian Democratic Forces. So time will tell, but I anticipate the U.S. forces will remain in years after 2026.